And we are back with We Try Wednesday on the road over in the Southside on Market Street at the new Honey Seed. And if you've driven by, you probably thought to yourself, oh, that sounds interesting. The sign says hand-rolled bagels and wood-fired pizza. And when you walk in, I think you're going to be very impressed. This is a really nice, warm, inviting-looking place. And today I am talking with Megan and Robert, and we're going to talk a little bit about where this all came about.
He is from Montreal, Canada, and came here to work in restaurants and ended up wanting to bring a little bit of taste of home to the Chattanooga area.
What made you realize or think that a bagel, like a homemade, a handmade bagel restaurant would work well in Chattanooga?
Well, Montreal-style bagels are very unique, and you really have New York style and Montreal style, and so in Montreal, bagels are incredibly popular, and all Montrealers are very proud of their style of bagels. So my wife and I keep going down there to visit family, and every time we'd bring back 2 or 3 dozen, and disappointed when we run out. So I thought it would go over well here. Chattanooga doesn't have any local bagel shops, and so we decided to do that.
Now, I notice here, too, that you have a very nice lounge.
Oh, yeah, we've got a full bar. I was a bartender, so I always love to craft a cocktail for someone, or we've got a fantastic cocktail menu. One of them is our Oh Honey cocktail with vodka, a little bit of champagne, and local honey, and our house-made sunshine juice. So fresh ingredients, specially crafted here, and just fantastic options.
Now, the name is Honey Seed, and you mentioned honey. How important is honey to this entire concept?
So honey seed comes from, for our Montreal-style bagels, we boil the bagels in honey water, and then we seed it. But we also have a number of unique things like seeded honey, which is very unique and certainly brand appropriate for us. And seeded honey is local honey. We get it from Harrison Bay Farms, and it's with toasted pepitas, chia, hemp, flax, poppy, and sesame seeds, and just a dash of salt. So very unique and very, so you have honey in a variety of different places. So the Oh Honey cocktail with our sunshine juice, seeded honey, and of course, all of our bagels are boiled in honey.
All right, so now we're going to go behind the scenes and look at how the bagels are made, and then we are going to try some of their special Montreal-style bagels and maybe a margarita if we're lucky.
So for Montreal-style bagels, first we make the dough. That's in a large mixer in the back, and then it comes out to here. We cut it into slices, and then we hand roll each one. And it's much easier said than done. There's a little bit of an art to it, but you roll it, seal it, and you keep going. And so we're doing hundreds a day, and so you got to keep moving pretty quickly. From there, we will take it and boil it in a large kettle, honey in it, and then from there we take it and we'll put seeds on it over here, and then we put it on 8-foot planks, like the 2 that are in the oven. And you can see the oven goes way back, and these are all dressed. And all dressed is like an everything bagel, with a couple of unique differences in with the garlic and onion chip. These bagels will stay in for about 15 minutes altogether. We'll flip them, which he's about to do, I think, right? Yes, sir. And this is Clayton, by the way, our baker. We're going to take this other tool called a Shiva, which is like a beveled plank, that he'll be able to scoop it up and flip it over again, so they're baked on both sides. So where often a New York style bagel has a top and a bottom, this doesn't. This has a top and a second top. Montreal style bagels have the characteristics of a little bigger hole than a New York style, and always 2-sided, always baked on both sides and seeded on both sides.
All right, so now we have walked through how the bagels are made, and it's not just bagels here at Honeyseed too. There's a lot more going on, and we're going to have Robert run us through everything here. But before we get started, I want to point out a couple really cool things about Honeyseed. It's in the Southside, it's on Market Street, but they have free parking, and that's kind of a big deal. Also, I noticed that you guys have a patio out front, which is going to be great when the weather gets warmer.
Yeah, we even have a larger patio space than interior space. We have 75 seats outside that open, that connect to the dining room through two garage doors that open up, 65 seats inside, and as you said, free parking. And so that's very unique anywhere really, but certainly very unique on the south side.
Absolutely. Free parking is a great thing. All right, now the first thing I notice is that looks like a St. Patrick's Day bagel. Is this what you're doing for St. Patrick's Day?
No, we are. So we're running it, started today, and we're doing it through St. Patty's Day on Friday. So that's the classic sesame. You can see both sides of the bagel are toasted, and the seeds are toasted. Excuse me. Both sides are seeded and both toasted. So they're both laying on the hearth of the oven. So gives it a real nice toasted flavor.
Then, of course, what we were watching being baked were these beautiful, beautiful, they even smell warm. And this was a little bit of everything, but what all of everything is it?
Yeah, so we call it an all dressed, and it's a sesame, poppy, and these garlic and onion chips, again, that are a little less pungent and garlic forward as you typically get on a bagel. So we also bottle it like that because it's very unique. And again, we call it all dressed spice, but commonly known as everything spice.
All right, and now when we talk about bagels, a lot of people want their spread, their schmear, however you have it. And I noticed you have a number of different mixtures here. So what are we looking at?
So the 4 different cream cheeses that we make in-house. This is just a plain cream cheese, vegetable, which is very flavorful. And then 2 here, honey jalapeno, which is more sweet than hot. So don't worry about the jalapenos, but gives it a nice flavor. And a blueberry cream cheese as well.
All right, now I'm not even sure where to start here. It's kind of like, first of all, I just want to try one of the bagels just without any cream cheese or anything on it, just to kind of give you an idea here of what it tastes like. So, it's still warm. I'm smelling just a lot of sorts of, it's like I'm smelling warm, if that makes any sense. So let me try it here. I've been eating bagels for a long time, and what I look for in a bagel, I look for the density, that really kind of thick, chewy center to it, but also I like to have a little bit of crispness on the outside, and that's kind of the boiling and then the baking of making the bagel dough. That is just rich.
The honey water gives it a touch of sweetness and a touch of shine. You can see that. That's obviously coming in part from being baking on the oven, but also a little bit of color comes from the honey and a sheen.
We were talking about, okay, now this is that jalapeno cream cheese, and you said it wasn't hot.
No, it's just got a little bit of jalapeno and also balanced off with the honey, so it's not hot at all, but that's probably my favorite.
All right, well, I'm going to try a little bit of this there on the bagel. He's right. It's not spicy hot, but there's a pop to the flavor. It almost enhances the flavor of the seeds in the bagel.
Yeah. No, I think so. Exactly. A nice touch of sweetness, and you could definitely taste the jalapeno, but not in a hot way.
All right, so bagel sandwich here. What kind of sandwich are we looking at?
And that's honey jalapeno cheese, turkey, on an all-dressed bagel with seeded honey and alfalfa sprouts.
Okay, so let's try this here and see how it goes. Wow. Once again, the crunchy of the bagel, but there's sweetness in here, the cream cheese. Oh, the ham is fantastic. That is a really, really nice sandwich. And you said this was in the lunch sandwiches. How many other kind of bagel sandwiches do you have?
That's the only other lunch bagel that we have. The others go on ciabatta and are served as a panini. In addition to, for lunch, we have a couple of really good salads. We have one called the Big Salad, which is, and this is our taco salad. And what's unique about this is that we have chickpea chorizo on it. That's the red chickpeas that are on top of the salad, and it's a vegan chorizo. It's essentially chickpeas with chorizo type seasoning on it.
That sounds fantastic. Okay, before we get into the French bread, I got to try these.
Those are our tater tots. Again, made
tater tots.
Made in house and scooped to order. And they have become one of our top, really probably the top item that we have.
Oh my goodness. I've never had a tater tot like this before. Those are fantastic. Now, let's talk about French toast here. And you said it's, how do you pronounce that? Challah bread?
Challah bread. And so the best French toast is made with challah bread. It's kind of taken from my mother's recipe, but it's challah bread. It's dipped in French toast batter and then cooked in a little bit of oil to get it a nice crispness on it. And we serve it with cream cheese icing on top with some mixed berries, and then another key to it is warm maple syrup.
It looks fantastic, and it smells good. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give another bite of this.
One of our best items, and again, I think the key to it is using challah bread, and we're buying it locally from Bluffview Art District.
And now I noticed that looks like a margarita.
That's our saltier margarita. So we don't put salt on the rim, but there's salt in the foam that's on top. And if you do fresh margaritas with lime juice, as most places do, you won't get that froth, but we do special froth, add a little bit of salt to it, and it'll stay on that drink for quite some time. And again, it's instead of salt on the rim, you got salt in the foam.
That will go well with pretty much everything you have here. And I mean, you've got the salads, you've got the bagels, you've got the tater tots, you've got the sandwiches, the French bread. You guys are brunch, lunch, dinner, and obviously a bar. What are your hours?
We're open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. So the only thing we haven't touched on is our pizzas. And again, we serve pizzas only after 4 because of the temperature difference in the oven. And but we might relook at that and see if we could start it a little bit earlier, because it's been quite popular with people, and I think from what we've heard, a lot of people would like to have it for lunch.
All right, it is Honey Seed Market Street, free parking, patio seating, indoor seating, brunch, lunch, dinner, a fantastic bar. Oh, I could go on and on. Folks, come on by. It's We Try Wednesday on the road with Big FM 106.9. I just want to start drinking the maple syrup straight.
Go ahead. You could have some.